I just met another person who was like, nice hoodie. Like my main identity. Because you know, in like most cartoons, people have the same outfit in almost every episode other than like special occasions. Well, I got rid of most of my clothes anyway because I didn't want them anymore. I usually get new clothes every year, but I just decided to stick with one general outfit. So that outfit mostly consists of my RuneScape shirt. But anyway, moving on, I'm walking home because my dad's car broke down. Luckily, I'm only like a mile away from the house. But I wanted to talk about, while I'm walking back, I wanted to talk about my first experience using SWAPPAH. Now, SWAPPAH, if you don't already know, I mean, most people that watch this probably know what SWAPPAH is, like Gazelle and those other kind of online places where you can buy and sell used phones and other things like that. I decided to try SWAPPAH. I've tried Gazelle, and the problem with Gazelle is that, sure, it's a lot more simple because you tell them the device you want to sell, you give them an idea of the condition it's in, and then they send you a prepaid box with the shipping label and all that, and then you just drop it off at the post office, and that's it. The thing is, they didn't really offer very much for one of my old phones I wanted to get rid of, so I decided to check out SWAPPAH, which is kind of like a Craigslist version of Gazelle, at least in my opinion anyway, but it's online. It's kind of like Gazelle, except you basically have to do all the heavy lifting yourself. What I mean by that is, instead of just simply looking up the phone that you want to sell, and then they just send you a box, you put it in the box and drop it off at the post office, you pretty much have to take pictures of your phone, post a listing. So basically think of it as like Craigslist or OfferUp or the Facebook marketplace, except you typically have to ship it. It's not local, but other than that, it's pretty much the same thing. And it was like, it didn't take very long. It took like maybe 3 days before someone wanted to buy it, and they offered $380, and then I got a payment of $350, and I'm like, what the hell is this? I thought I was getting $380, but then it's like, at the end of the day, like the person paid $411 for it. There was a $15 SWAPPAH fee, $30 for taxes. For the value that I was selling it at, there was $30 for tax, and then I had to pay another $20 for shipping and packaging at the post office store. So at the end of the day, after all the calculations, when I compared this to just using it as a trade-in credit like I normally do when I get a new phone, it's like I'm only making an extra $80 off of the phone. Like, is it really worth all that hassle? And especially the liability, because apparently, like, if the phone gets lost during the middle of being shipped, then I'm basically out of a phone, and I'm responsible for it. So basically, if that happens, I'm literally just giving away my phone. I get nothing out of it because I don't get paid until that person who bought it gets the phone. So overall, my experience with SWAPPAH was honestly I didn't like it. I'm not going to use SWAPPAH again. This was a one-time thing because I was thinking at first like, oh, cool, you can easily sell your phones on this and get a much higher price compared to trading it in for a credit towards a new device. But after all the hoops, all the complications I have to go through, all this bullshit that I have to deal with, not to mention like so much stuff, all these fees and shipping and all that all comes out of my pocket. So at the end of the day, going through all that, and especially liability issues if for some reason it doesn't make it to the person who bought it or whatever, because like the delivery people are stupid or something, or if it gets damaged or whatever, all that hassle for getting an extra $80, it really, in my opinion, is not worth it at all. It's not worth the hassle. I would much rather continue doing what I've been doing for years and just trade in my device and get a credit towards my new one directly with the company that I'm getting a new device from. Like if I get a new iPhone, I trade in my old iPhone directly at the Apple store, because we have an Apple store at one of the malls a few miles from my house. So that's the simplest way to do that. Getting a new iPhone is the most simple thing ever. And they have such a great trade-in value. I usually get $400 or $450 trade-in value for my old iPhone. So when I get a new iPhone, it almost cuts the price in half. The thing that I like about Samsung and their devices is that they have pretty competitive trade-in offers too. They offer like $300 to $400 for most of their devices, even if they're like a couple years old. That's why typically that's what I've always done. With these companies, I just trade in my old device and use it as a credit to cut down the total cost of the new thing that I'm buying. It's so much more simple. Even if I have to buy it online and ship it, they send me a prepaid shipping box. All I do is put the thing in there and drop it off at the post office, and then I wait for my new phone or new device or whatever I bought to arrive in the mail. But the reason why it's always the easiest to do this at the Apple store is because there's I think there's at least 2 physical Apple stores where I live. One of them is like 40 minutes away, another one is like 10 minutes. Obviously I go to the one that's closer, but it's the easiest for me to get a new iPhone because of that reason alone. If I wanted to get a new iPhone, like I still have the 12 Pro, if I wanted to get the 13 Pro, for example, I could literally just drive over to the Apple store, give them this thing, and then tell them I want the 13 Pro. They'll probably give me like at least a $350 or maybe a $400 trade-in credit, and then I can get the new one for like as little as $600. Doing this with a Samsung phone, for example, would be, they don't have a Samsung store, obviously, and there's not really any way to just go into the store and do that. I think the only place that I know of where you can trade in mostly anything as a credit towards a new thing that you're buying is Best Buy. And there's Best Buys all over the place. There's a Best Buy literally right outside my neighborhood. So if I wanted to get a new Android phone, I'd buy the new Android phone, bring in my old Android phone and use it as a credit. But here's the thing, like after all the stupid fees and taxes and all that, I'm getting roughly $330, even though I posted it up for $400, but I'm still getting $330 for selling that phone. Now, that's still better than some of the other trade-in places. If I were to go to Best Buy, for example, right now they're only going to offer me a $210 trade-in credit if I were to get a new phone. So it's still better than that. But at the end of the day, is it really worth all this hassle in liability and dealing with all these fees? No, not really. Like, this was a one-time experience for me. I just wanted to try it because why not? Let's try SWAPPAH farts. But this is definitely going to be the last time. So I'm hoping that this delivery will be seamless, no problems. I'll just get the damn money, and then I'm probably never using SWAPPAH again. I'm either going to just trade it in as a credit at Best Buy, or probably a more wiser decision would be to trade it directly into, like, trade in the device directly to the company that I bought it from. Because, like, companies, like I said, Samsung and Apple, they have the best trade-in offers ever. So it makes it super affordable to be able to get the latest devices from them. And why do you think Apple and Samsung dominate so much? Because they're huge. Giggity. If I wanted to, I could have traded in that phone that I just dropped off at the post office. I could have traded it in directly to Samsung. I could have gotten a Galaxy Z Flip 3 for like $600. They're offering me a $350 trade-in value. That's even more, zero hassle, and I would still be getting $20 more than what I'm getting doing this SWAPPAH crap. First time experience with SWAPPAH was good. I'm only saying that because it's my first time using it, but it's also going to be my last time using it. But anyway, that's basically the end of this video. I just want to talk about my experience using SWAPPAH. I didn't like it, so I'll make more videos. Stay tuned for that. See ya, farts.